All right, so welcome to the review for Unit 17, volume of circular objects. So we started our first lesson with area of a circle. So the area of a circle is equal to pi times the radius squared. As soon as you use 3.14, though, you have to put the approximate symbol because pi is not exactly 3.14, it's approximately that. The other thing you must know which one of these numbers is the radius, and you have to know how to spell these words. The radius is the distance from the middle to the outside all the way across is called the diameter. So all these formulas have the radius in it. So sometimes I'll give you the radius, but sometimes I'll give you a diameter, and you're going to have to cut it in two. Here I gave you the radius. This radius, it was 7. So it's 3.14 times 49, 7 squared. So that's all we have to do here. 9 times 4 is 36, and then 12, and then 27 plus 1 is 28. 4 times 4 is 16, and then 5, and then 12. And we're going to move the decimal twice, and this is approximately 153.86 square centimeters. Now, on the test, you're not going to put the approximate symbol, you're not going to put the square centimeters, you're just going to type exactly 153.86 in the answer box. All right, so you should pause the video and write down the name of each of these shapes and what its formula is for the volume. All right, so we're finding the area of just the blue shaded portion. Well, that hopefully you can see that's 1/4 of a circle, right? And so it's not a volume, it's an area. I almost wrote volume. So we're writing a volume. And so an area. So the area is pi r squared. And this is the area of 1/4 of it, so it'll be approximately 1/4. We're going to use 3 for pi. Read that each time. Sometimes it'll say 3, sometimes it'll say 3.14, sometimes it'll say leave pi in your answer. The radius, that's 8 feet, is what that mark means, so it's 8 squared. So we have 1/4 times 3 times 64. We can't cancel the 4 and the 3, but we can cancel the 4 and the 64, because 4 goes into 64 16 times. So we have 3 times 16, and 3 times 16 is 48. And so you would type 48, but it is 48 square feet for this area, the 1/4 of it. The whole thing is 4 times 48. All right, so this is volume, and you're leaving pi in your answer. So it's a cylinder. We're leaving pi, so no approximate symbol. The radius is given as 3. We're squaring that. And the height, we add these up, is 5. The volume equals pi. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. But you don't write it that way. You write the number before the letter. And so the volume is exactly 45 pi. You're finding the volume of the hole. Well, the hole is a cylinder. It says use 3 for pi. The radius of the hole is 4. The height of the hole seems to be all the way through. So the height of the hole seems to be 10. So it's 3 times 16 times 10. Well, we just did 3 times 16. It was 48. And 48 times 10, add a 0, 480. So this is 480 cubic inches. That's the volume of the hole. Find the volume of the rest of the cube. All right, now a cube, the volume of a cube, right, is length times width times height. So that's 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000 cubic inches. So we take the volume of the cube, we take away the volume of the hole, and you get the volume of the rest, right? So we take 1,000, we take away 480, we do a little borrowing here, and we get 520 cubic inches is the volume of the rest of the cube. So that's a cone. That's 1/3 the size of a cylinder. We're going to use 3 for pi. The radius here is also 3. We're squaring that, and the height from the center of the cone to the tip is 5. Those 3's cancel out. 3 squared is 9, and we get 45 cubic inches, right? 45 little cubes would fit in there that were 1 by 1 by 1. All right, so we have 3 cones. All right, so a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. Right? We have 3 of them, so the 3's cancel out, right? And the volume is pi r squared h. It also says to use 3 for pi. So pi is 3, r squared, r is 2. We square it and get 4. The height is 8. So 2 squared is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 8 you should have memorized, but it is 96 cubic inches. Find the volume of the cylinder. Use 3 for pi. Well, volume of cylinder, pi r squared h. We're using 3 for pi. The radius is 2. 2 squared. Wait, this is exactly like this one. Yeah, that was part of this lesson. 3 cones, these 3 cones all fit in there. Now you'd have to scrunch them up. But if you put ice cream in each of these cones, in those 3 cones, you get the exact same amount in that one cylinder. And it doesn't look like that way to the eye because of the way you see 3 dimensions on a 2D piece of paper. But there'd be a lot of space in there for all of those. All right, so this is a sphere. Different formula. 4/3 pi r cubed. So we're going to use 3 for pi, it says. And r is cubed here. Please be careful, right? This one doesn't have r squared. So it's 4 times 8, which is approximately 32 cubic inches for this sphere. All right, so that's half a sphere. What was the word for that? It was hemisphere, right? We live in the northern hemisphere of our planet. So that's a bowl that's in a circular shape is a hemisphere. So this is half a sphere. So we're going to do 1/2 times 4/3 pi r cubed. It says use 3 for pi. So that's going to let us cancel those 3's. And the radius here is 4. And we're going to cube that. Now we can cancel this 2 with this 4 and make 2 there. So we have 2 still here. 4 times 4 is 16, and then 16 times 3. We've done that a bunch today. It's 48. So the answer to this is 2 times 48. Or 96 cubic inches fits in this half of a bowl, half of a sphere, which is what a bowl typically is. All right, so here you're finding the missing radius. This is what we did in the last lesson. So this is a cylinder, pi r squared h. We know the volume is 432. It says use 3 for pi, just so people won't reach for a calculator. We don't know r, and the height is 9 centimeters. That's this distance from the 2 bases. 3 times 9 is 27, so we have 432 equals 27r squared. And so I have to divide both sides by 27, just like in all equations. We're trying to get r by itself here. So we're going to divide 27 into 432. Well, 27 goes in once, I think, into 43. So we're going to borrow, and we get 6. We get 16. Now 27 into 162. Well, let's see how many times that goes in. Let's try, well, 2 goes into 16 8 times, but that's going to be too much. Let's try 6 times. 7 times 6 is 42. 2 times 6 is 12. Oh, it goes in exactly 6 times. Now, I wasn't 100% sure it was 6, but what I was doing was 7 times 6 ended in a 2. That was a helpful hint. Truthfully, in my mind, first I did 7 times 7 and I got 49. And since I haven't been making you round these, and things like that, I wasn't expecting it to come out weird. I was expecting it to come out nice, and it did. 16, a perfect square. So 16, and oh, this is approximately, because we use 3 for pi, equals r squared, right? And so, yeah, it could be -4, but we're crossing that out. And it's 4m is for meters. The radius is 4 meters. And again, right, I don't draw these pictures exactly, but say you started with 16. That length doesn't look longer than that length in the picture. I don't try to mess you up or anything. All right, find the area of that. All right, it doesn't say what to do. So you could do it approximately, or you're allowed to just do it exactly. But the key here is, what's the radius, right? That's a diameter. Don't get messed up. The radius here, halfway across, is 3 centimeters. So it's pi times 3 squared, or pi times 3 squared would go on that side. This side, let's use 3.14, just since I haven't done a lot of those in this review, right? And so this one is exactly 9 times pi. What does 9 times pi approximately equal? Well, it equals 3.14 times 9, right? 3 times 9 is 27, so we're going to get something a little more than 27. Let's see. 4 times 9 is 36. 9 plus 3 is 12. 9 times 3 is 27 plus 1 is 28. Move the decimal twice. So it's approximately 28.26 centimeters, right? So there's a little more than 28 little squares in there. And these are square centimeters in both cases. All right, the tank is half full. So it's a cylinder, pi r squared h. Doesn't say what to use, so you can do what you want. So let's leave pi. The radius is 10. Now, the height of halfway, right? So you can either write 1/2 in front of this. Let's do it that way, right? 1/2 in front of this, and then write the 22. But I think most people are just going to go 22 divided by 2 is 11 in our head. Well, can't write either way. You're getting 11 there. So we get pi times 100 times 11. So we're going to do 100 times 11. And you get a 0, 0, 1, step over, you get a 1, 0, 0 there. Yeah, that makes sense. And so we get exactly 1,100 times pi, and this is cubic feet. All right. Again, if you put 3 in there, you'll do 1,100 times 3, which would be what, 3,300 cubic feet. All right, here you're finding the height. That's what's missing. We have to know that's a cone. So volume is exactly 1/3 pi r squared h. We're using 3 for pi. So 1/3 times 3. We know the radius here at 6. So 6 squared is 36. And we're finding the height. And the volume was 540. They gave it to us, right? The 3's cancel. And we have 540 is approximately 36h. Divide both sides by 36. How many times does 36 go into 180? Well, it ends in a 0. 5 is a good guess because we can't guess 10. It's always 1 through 9 if it comes out nicely, right? 5 times 6 is 30. Yeah, and so 15 centimeters is approximately our height. So here, it's 4/3 pi r cubed for a sphere. We're going to do it approximately. Since it's approximate, let's use 3 for pi. Now, what's the radius? The radius here is 9 inches. That's a diameter. So we have to do 9 cubed. 9 times 9 is 81. And so we get 700, right? And so the volume here is 729 times 4, right? There's still this 4. So we have to do 729 times 4. Well, you could do 7 times 4 is 28 and then do it there, but I'll do it out. 4 times 9 is 36. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 3 is 11. 28. I'm getting 2,916. But again, I used 3, which is a little low for pi. So it's approximately 3,000 cubic inches. Good luck on the test.